Friends, today I have come to discuss something very, very serious, something very, very dangerous, something which is actually has become an evil of our society. And I want to talk about the hypocrisy of the so called liberals, the progressives, the leftists, whom I call urban naxals. You know about Afghanistan. In Afghanistan, US has withdrawn its armed forces from there. They left the destiny of that country in the hands of militants. And Taliban started their march, and finally, today they have taken over Kabul. Their president Ghani has fled. American embassy is shut. American diplomats and other Americans actually fled Afghanistan exactly like they had fled Vietnam with a helicopter on the rooftop. It's become a very big security issue for the entire region and especially for India. On one hand, India is surrounded by Pakistani led terrorists who are nurtured and trained and mentored in sanctuaries in Pakistan. On the other side, we have China, a rogue nation, which is actually working against India, and it's a big threat to Indian security. Now, in Afghanistan also, we have the world's most tribal, most uncivilized, most primitive, and the most inhuman, barbaric, dangerous terrorists who are known by the name of Taliban. So Afghanistan is going to be ruled by them. What is Taliban? Actually, if you know, on 9/11, the World Trade Center in America was attacked by two aircrafts which were hijacked and later on piloted by Al Qaeda terrorists. These Islamic terrorists were responsible for killing 3,000 people in 9/11. After that, Osama ran away and he hid in Afghanistan, and he was given protection by Taliban. As a reaction, America attacked to look for Osama, and they were joined by NATO, UK obviously, and NATO, and there was a coalition army which basically was trying to eliminate Taliban, which they could not. Ultimately, Osama was found in Pakistan. Now, this Taliban was created after 1989 when Soviet finally left Afghanistan. And by 1998, they had taken full control of Afghanistan. And it's not just that Taliban found their way in with force. The people of Afghanistan by that time were also brainwashed. And in a recent Pew Research report, it says that 99% people in Afghanistan wanted Sharia laws. I'm sure all of you know what Sharia law is, which does not allow women to do anything. Nobody has freedom, where you behead people, where it's a patriarchal system, where men are allowed to do anything, and not women. You can read up on Sharia. It's a very primitive and barbarian kind of Islamic law. It is estimated that there are about almost 100,000 Talibani soldiers in Afghanistan. First, you have to understand what is the cost of this war. In this war, almost 69,000 Afghan security forces were killed. About 51,000 on each side, the civilians as well as on the Taliban side. 51,000 people were killed and thousands of American soldiers were injured. It is believed that more than 5 million people fled Afghanistan because of threats from Taliban and Sharia law. Today, Afghan is the third largest displaced population in this world. It is estimated that almost 978, and by the time they left, almost $1,000 billion were spent on this war between America, coalition armed forces, and Taliban. Now, Biden announced when they were leaving Afghanistan that they had an understanding and a peaceful meeting with Taliban, and the militants said that they will not topple the officially elected government of Ghani in Afghanistan. But it was very, very immature and irresponsible on the part of Biden government that they believed them. because anybody with little bit of political acumen and some geopolitical knowledge would know that you can trust even the most untrustworthy person in this world, but you just cannot trust these Islamic terrorists. Now, what I wanted to discuss with you was that with this background today, India, looking at the Kashmir situation, has a very, very desperately dangerous, alarming situation on the border. Because these Talibani people will definitely try to expand their area of terror influence, and Kashmir is going to be their first hotspot. It's only the future which will tell us how Indian government deals with it, but it also requires a lot of cooperation from the citizens of India, and especially media, which does not spread rumors and does not whitewash and does not try to cover up these terrorist activities. As all of you know, that whenever any terrorist is killed in Kashmir, all these so-called liberal, progressive, whom I call urban Naxal journalists, they start whitewashing it by saying that he was a genius student, he was son of a teacher, he was son of a postmaster, and they always try to create sympathy towards terrorists, and especially Islamic terrorists. The reason is because they are part of the same ecosystem. Now today morning, Arfa Khanum Sherwani, she tweeted something on the 15th of August, which is the Independence Day of India, when the Prime Minister gave a speech and everybody was actually wishing each other happy Independence Day. And at the same time, the entire country, every single citizen was worried about this looming terrorist, Islamic terrorist threat on India by Taliban. And everybody was wondering how America left people, the world in lurch, and therefore America cannot be trusted. Now, at the same time, Arfa Khanum Sherwani, who's a very senior journalist with The Wire and whole lot of liberal ecosystem, respects her and amplifies whatever she writes. Today she wrote that right wing is mocking and trolling Indian Muslims because Taliban have taken over Kabul. Right wing, she's identifying right wing, which means people who are the supporters of the current government, people who are the supporter of Narendra Modi. Even the worst human tragedies and miseries are just an opportunity for them. Shame on you, Sanghis. First of all, it has got three labelings: right wing, then Indian Muslims, then Sanghis. It's such a shameless tweet because these people, instead of worrying about the cause of this terrorism, which is Islamic teachings, which is the brainwashing at madrasa level by Islamic leaders, political leaders, brainwashing, converting small children into becoming suicide bombers, and then killing innocent people all over the world, becoming refugees and destroying the domestic cultures of so many nations. Now, instead of questioning them, instead of finding root cause with them, she tried to whitewash by blaming Sanghis and right wing. Now, I want to ask one pertinent question, that how can any Sanghi who lives in India can create this kind of terrorism in Afghanistan? How are Sanghis even remotely related with this issue? But what she has done is to look nice in the eyes of the world liberal leaders. She has posted this. It's another thing that day and night, all their careers, throughout their careers, all these people have done is that they have ridiculed, they have mocked, they have abused, and they have said everything about the people who believe in Hindu culture, Hindu civilization, people who identify themselves as Hindus, not in terms of a very religious way, but more as part of this civilization, who also call themselves Indians. These people keep ridiculing them, abusing them with Gaumutra jibes, with beef jibes, with beef photos, and all the times they make fun of them and abuse Indian gods and goddesses. And these people, the so-called liberal journalists and intellectuals, always give them shelter and ideological support only to protect these Islamic terrorists. And I think I have seen Arfa Khanum Sherwani all the time celebrating any kind of a tragedy which is on the majority of India, the so-called Hindus of India, the native people of this country who have only one nation to live, which is India, Bharat, Hindustan, whatever you want to call it. I have seen them tweeting day and night against this community, but I have never ever seen them saying one word against Islamic terrorism. They do not even use the word Islamic terrorism. They, in fact, Ravish Kumar, who is a Magsaysay Award winner, he did not use when their Danish, the photojournalist, was killed by Taliban few days ago in Afghanistan. He did not condemn Islamic terrorism. Arfa kind of people did not condemn Islamic terrorism for killing one of their own. In fact, they said हम गोलियों को हजार लानतें भेजते हैं ऐसी गोलियों को, exactly like New York Times, which last year on 9/11 they said 2 unidentified planes had attacked World Trade Center. They did not even mention the word Islamic terrorism. So the reason I am making this video and talking to you today is that these people do a lot of injustice to the security, defense, sovereignty, and the mutual fraternity and the brotherhood of India by all the times protecting the wrong people, the evil people, and blaming the Hindu society of India, which has nothing to do with Taliban or Afghanistan. In fact, I believe if there is any community in this world which actually believes in peace and spreads, is our community, and that's what irritates people like Arfa and Ravish Kumar. So if you agree with what I'm saying, please share this with all your friends and family so that they know that what is the hidden agenda. Before I finish this, I want to tell you something, that in the next couple of years, India is going to face lots and lots of repercussions of this Taliban's takeover. India is going to be a victim of Islamic terrorism, and at that time again you will find people like Arfa and Ravish Kumar and their incorporation. These people will again stand up and they will support, give ideological support, and they will protect the world's biggest enemies. These are Islamic terrorists. Jai Hind.